If you've ever been overwhelmed or intimidated by social media, or just confused, then stick around, because coming up next on Stories from the Southwest, we have some information that you'll probably find helpful. Thank you for joining us for Stories from the Southwest. I'm Cebe Schneider. Technology is all around us, and with technology comes social media. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel pretty overwhelmed, confused, and sometimes even intimidated by social medias. So I went and visited with some experts, and here's what they had to say. I'm here with Nolan Overton, who is the web designer for Consolidated Telecom. He's going to give us some insight into all the different kinds of social media that are really popular. We're going to talk a little bit, touch on a variety of social medias and find out if they're user-friendly, find out if they're available to everyone, and learn a little bit about being secure when we're using social media. So, Nolan, let's start out by talking about Facebook, okay? Facebook is really out there, right?
It is the most popular social media site today.
Okay.
It encompasses computers, smartphones, tablets, the whole 9 yards.
Right. Who can use Facebook? Is it limited to the users who it's available to, or can anybody use Facebook?
Technically, it's anybody over the age of 13.
Okay. Okay. So, is that personal, like individuals, businesses? Do you have to have a band to have Facebook? Or?
Facebook, the way Facebook is designed with profiles, it's individuals. Now, if you're in business, or a public figure or a community event even, they want to use what are called fan pages, which multiple individual profiles can then contribute to.
Okay. Okay. So you have a lot of options with Facebook.
Correct.
But with Facebook, you're going to have a timeline with a personal user, and then you're going to have a special page for the business, the event.
And the way they separate them, you have your personal profiles and then your fan pages. You can become a friend of somebody, but anytime you see a like, that's what are going to be your fan pages. Like Consolidated Telecoms, or some of my favorite are Lego, Amazon.com, that kind of thing. The business pages are the ones you like.
How concerned does the individual have to be about privacy and security?
In my opinion, greatly concerned. Most social media sites have tools for privacy, but a good rule of thumb is if you post something on social media, assume that anybody can see it, no matter what your security settings are. 90 to 95% of the people aren't going to see them, but you're going to get those few hackers out there that might be able to get your personal information you think is hidden and potentially put it to a search engine or that kind of thing.
Okay, but what about once you've deleted it?
It could still be archived somewhere. If a search engine, in the limited time that it is public or potentially public, if a search engine gets a hold of it, they're going to have their own archives of the information that will still be available, even if you think you've deleted it off of Facebook. Like I said, it doesn't always happen, but you have to make the assumption it might happen.
Right. That's really wise, especially since many of the social medias are visual, so you're having pictures and then whatever you said along with the pictures
exactly,
out there too. So let's talk about some of the other forms of media. Twitter is not a picture media; it's words only, right?
It's becoming. Initially Twitter was text only, but because of the popularity of things like Pinterest and Facebook, they're now introducing visual options. So you can actually tweet a picture, tweet a video. Twitter is a quick, conversational style social media. When I say quick, I mean it's 140 characters or less of text going back and forth between either you and an individual or you and a whole group or potentially the world.
Why can't I just text?
The way Twitter archives and provides the information, if you text somebody, it's between, let's say, you and I.
Right.
When I post it to Twitter, especially if I use things like hashtags that you might see, like the pound sign something on newscasts or whatnot, anybody in the world can then type that in and find out information.
So Twitter is a sort of a news gathering resource whatever a text is private.
Whereas Twitter is not.
It's
not even
though it's between a group, it's still the publicity opportunity is huge.
Right. I could technically do, hey Cebe, check out pound, such and such restaurant. But anybody searching for such and such restaurant could then see that post on Twitter. So
when kids are saying unkind pound blank, like whatever, hideous girl, something, then anybody going to hideous girls or hideous girl picture or something
will be able to see,
is going to be able to see that eventually.
And who it's from and where they're at.
Okay.
And
so
then
lots of potential for embarrassment, hurt.
And possibly legal repercussions. A lot of social media sites are now being required by law to provide user information on demand to court systems for bullying reasons and whatnot.
Okay. So if you're going to use Twitter, you're probably better off doing a texting if it's a private conversation, even though, of course, as you said before, you have to be cognizant that anything can get out there at some point. But it's much more private, where Twitter, anybody can access eventually.
Potentially, exactly. My rule of thumb is, if you wouldn't say it to a person's face, or wouldn't say it in a public setting, like in a line, waiting for your coffee, you probably shouldn't be saying it on social media.
Okay, that's a great rule to follow, and there's also some that's good to follow with pictures too.
Correct,
Instagram makes me think of Twitter, only I didn't realize the newsy component of Twitter, but Instagram, with its quickness, with the the picture you can upload right away. Comment right away. The Instagram app also allows you to post to things like Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot, but it's a very quick means of doing visual communication. Very much in the Twitter style. Okay, all right. And again, even though there are privacy settings, don't assume that they're effective.
Exactly, because just because you're following your privacy settings, your friends may not be. Or who you think may be your friends. Okay.
Along the lines of pictures, there's also Snapchat.
Right.
What is Snapchat?
Snapchat is an instant visual messaging system, like text messaging, but with photos. And in theory, the images are deleted. And I say in theory because if they touch a computer, the potential for them to be archived does exist. And it may not even be Snapchat who intentionally archives them. Somebody could be, taking a snapshot on their phone, that kind of thing. But like if you and I were having a Snapchat conversation, I'd take a picture of what I'm doing or what I want you to see. You'd get it, and you'd have up to 15 seconds, I believe it is, to see that image before it's technically deleted.
Right. But if I decide to take a screenshot of the image you've sent me, then we have it in perpetuity.
Right.
Right. So then if I say, oh my gosh, Nolan, this was so funny that Nolan did it, and I decide to post it on Facebook, or I decide to post it on a blog, or if I decide to post it, well, I guess not a blog, but probably not that, since it's words only. But if I wanted to post it someplace and share it with a bunch of other people, or just shared it with a couple people who I would think it's hilarious, and then they shared it, pretty soon we have opened a real can of worms.
Exactly. Once it leaves your phone or your computer, assume it's potentially public.
Right. And you may have just been, you don't even want to send your wife or husband or significant other any little special pictures because
it could potentially be out there.
So we've gone through Instagram, we've gone through Snapchat, we've talked about Facebook and tweeting. I would like to talk about Pinterest.
Pinterest. I love Pinterest.
I love Pinterest too.
Pinterest is generally assumed to be more of a woman's, not to sound sexist, but it is, it's a woman's social media. But there are a lot of guys out there using it for many, many things. Right.
There are like home building ideas, or not home building, but home improvement or build it yourself type of things that are of interest to males.
Recipes,
right? Cook this for me, kind of, honey.
In our household, hey honey, I'm going to cook this for you.
Yeah. Hey.
So
that's a pretty good deal.
And as social media evolves, I think you're going to see a lot more of the photographs. 5 years ago, even Facebook was primarily text. Twitter is still primarily text, but your Snapchats, your Instagrams, those are becoming visual because people are wanting pictures.
And Pinterest.
Pinterest.
Yeah.
It's people are expecting the picture. Picture says 1,000 words. That's really becoming true on social media.
Right. Well, I think even on web pages that when I look at different companies, when you look at the history of their user, the visiting, you're seeing the gallery, the photo gallery is getting 100% more use than we've ever seen in the past.
Right.
Plus, it's getting 90% of the viewing of each visitor that's on that page.
Exactly.
Because people want to see pictures. We're a very busy society.
And the human mind works visually.
Right.
We've just developed language, and that's what I think is really becoming, or really spurring on. The internet in the next 5 years is going to be all photos. Plus, as technology improves, where you get faster internet. 10 years ago, the internet was so slow you couldn't have the images as well.
Right.
With broadband, even your cell phone having more speed than what computers did back then, it's all going to be visual and video.
I'd like to touch base now. We've talked about these different forms of media. They're all free, is that correct?
Correct. Almost all social media is going to be free. You might run into a few very specialized social media sites for a very niche market, but the top 20 social media sites are all going to be free. They get their revenue through advertising.
Okay. So, and I know for businesses, you can be looking at like LinkedIn, and is there like a Google Max or Facebook Max or some kind of?
I've never heard of those. So I think you're thinking of Google Plus.
Plus.
But that is free.
Okay.
It's basically the competitor to Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Because Google's
Okay.
answer to Facebook,
All right.
which is seeing some pickup and some usage. But what you're going to find, if you're on one social media, you're probably going to have accounts on a lot of other social media sites, because each one are going to have their own use for you. It may not be the same use for everybody, but the same use for you. The reasons I'm on Google Plus is different than the reasons I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
Okay. It seems like we're so consumed with social media that people rarely even pick up the phone anymore or go to a meeting, which conveniences us and pushes our pace of our lives even faster.
Right.
And it certainly has its benefits. As a parent, I'm concerned because I know that I want to stay ahead, or at least abreast of the media, that social medias that are out there. So I know you said that it's wise for us to never put anything out there that we don't want to affect our
Right,
future.
exactly. Yeah.
Is really because this is in forever.
Once it's out there, it could be potentially out there even 20 years.
Right.
30 or 40, 50 years from now.
Right. So as parents or as good stewards of our own social media, what do you have some suggestions or some ideas, tips, things that we should do to protect ourselves or protect our children? Obviously, one of the first things we need to do is make that decision
Right.
to be conscientious and responsible about our own use of it, but also have that conversation with our kids about the potential for future repercussion.
Exactly.
About their choices. Are there things that you can actually do that help them since they are younger and don't have that self-control right now?
In our own household, it's going to be different for every household. In our own household, if they use social media, we have to have immediate, their account information. We need to know what they're installing on their phones. For some of their accounts, like Facebook, we get email notifications along with them on what type of conversations they're having. That's just not only to see what they're saying, but what people are saying about them. Because you could have the best person, child in the world, but that doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to start picking on them. Cyberbullying. It's almost impossible even for somebody like myself who lives and works in the web realm to keep up on every single social media site.
So
Whatever,
being involved in their
whatever best how you monitor. The same rules would apply, like who their friends are, where they're going.
Right.
Same thing applies to social media. You've seen things like social media contracts or web use contracts from parents, and that puts it in the minds of the individual, the child, that okay, my parents are going to be watching, but you just have to keep on top of the best you can.
Right. Well, and I appreciate that a step further than just their own security and their emotional health, all those things. But when they're putting your home address and your phone number and those kind of things
Right.
out there, we need to be vigilant about
Yeah.
the fact that now our personal home information is being shared, and depending on how many kids you have using the medias, but it's being
Exactly.
repeatedly shared, and it's, more accessible. So it just seems responsible to me to have those, which we have those conversations with our
Right.
kids, and have the expectations about, again, like you said, when you're signing up for something, when you're putting anything, if you give anything with our home number, anything with our address, we need to be aware of it.
Right.
Let's talk about these things to make sure. May seem fun, but it may not
May
be
seem,
safe.
and the person you're talking to may not be the person you think you're talking to.
Right.
Like I said, some of our rules is you can't share any where we live, phone numbers or anything without our permission. Nor can they add anybody to their social media networks, whether it be a Facebook friend, Twitter contact, without asking us first
Okay.
on whether or not they should be there.
That's a good idea. And the other piece of that is a lot of, you are a professional at this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very intimidated by it. I just started a Facebook page. That is how delayed I am. So it's been a good opportunity for me to deepen that relationship with my kids because they're experts on this. So I get to, say to them, I'm not a complete dummy just because I don't know how to do it. So if they're trying to, pull me down the primrose path, but it's a good opportunity for parents to have that interaction with their kids on something their kid is good at, help them to feel
Right.
successful, get the information that you need. They'll accidentally tell you things that will alert you to things
Yeah,
that you need to
exactly.
be very aware
Yep.
of. So that's a nice opportunity for that.
And it's a good way to kind of, well, as you were mentioning, to see where things are trending. Not only with, our lifestyle, but like I said, with the children, because a lot of times you'll see not only who their friends are, but their friends of friends. And, you might find out more than you want to know.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate your time, Nolan, and your expertise. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Joining me is Chaz Byers, a 7th grader at Hagen Junior High. Chaz, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes. So tell me about the kinds of social media that you and your friends tend to use the most.
Probably Facebook or texting or something like that.
Okay. Not Instagram or, let's see, what do I want? Tweeting? Do you do that too much?
I do Twitter a little, yeah. But
Okay.
Instagram I really don't use.
Not
yeah.
so much? Okay. So when you're using the Facebook, how do you use the Facebook? Like, I know how to actually use it, but how do you use it to socialize?
I probably use it to, well, I don't really socialize. Like sometimes I message people, but I probably use it to update what I'm doing and what like important news for me or somebody else happens. I usually post it on there.
Okay. So you also find out the important news that everybody, and on Facebook it's friends, right? So I am wondering how important, there seems to be some kind of status among kids on how many followers they have or how many friends. Do you find that a lot, that it's important to people how many likes they get or how many friends they have or how many followers they have?
Honestly, it doesn't matter how many friends I have or how many likes I get. I just post it to post it, like, because only my friends can see it and stuff, because there's like a privacy setting thing. And yeah, I just post it to post it. And
You were talking about a privacy setting, and I'm glad to hear that you're using yours and that you know what it is and how to use it. As a parent, I am curious to know what other parents, like your parents or parents like me who have kids who are utilizing social media, we don't want to be intrusive or in your business, but we want to know what's going on. Make sure you're safe. Make sure that the sites you're visiting or the people who are talking to you are being appropriate and that you're being appropriate. So without getting into your business, what can we do that would be okay with you but would help make us feel more comfortable?
I would probably say, like, if I'm on Facebook, say I forgot to log out of my parents got on the thing. Like, I wouldn't mind if they would read it, but like going on like say my messages and stuff, and well, I wouldn't care if they looked at them, but like replying to my friends and stuff, I think that's an invasion of privacy.
Okay, and I understand that. I can see there's a difference between you. So you're saying Mom and Dad, it's okay if you look at everything I'm posting and what people are posting to me. It's okay if you look at my messages, but don't respond under my name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand that. I don't think anybody appreciates that. Chaz, thank you so much for joining us. Joining me now is Carter Donnan, a sophomore at Dickinson High School. Carter, what forms of social media do kids your age tend to use the most?
I think they use Facebook and Twitter and Instagram the most.
Okay. Now, Instagram is a picture format. Twitter, of course, is the newsy type piece, and Facebook is the combination. Do you feel like that other youth tend to use those mediums appropriately?
I think they do, but their parents might not agree on what they put on there.
Okay. So talking about the parents, what kind of ideas do you have for parents that wouldn't step into your guys' discomfort area, but would be reasonable as parents to be able to have the right to look at their children's things? What kind of things can we do as parents that you think would be appropriate and helpful and help us to keep an eye out on that?
Just check in on their Facebook and Twitter accounts every once in a while and see what they're putting on there to make sure it's appropriate.
Okay. Do you think that most kids your age are open to that and respectful about their parents having that right and needing to be able to do that? Did you understand what I was? Sorry, did my question make sense? Okay,
yeah.
so.
Some might be okay with it, but I don't know about others.
Right. Well, and you guys are getting to that age where you're young adults, but you're still as old as you're all getting and as mature as you're getting, you still need guidance from parents. So I hope that most kids your age would be open to allowing their parents access to those things. Thank you so much for joining us, Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Kylie Shepard, a 7th grader. Kylie, how important do you think social media is to kids your age?
It's very important to all of us.
Okay. How much time would you say that on average you guys spend on it a day?
A little over half the day, because you have school and then you come home and then you're usually always on your phone trying to look at stuff, social media.
So if you get into trouble and you're going to get, the parent decides the discipline, the consequence for your behavior is for you to lose your form of social media, that's pretty traumatic, isn't it?
Yes, very.
It really is. And it seems to me like, when we were in school, people my age, we weren't in constant contact with our peers. You saw them during the school day, and then after school, maybe you did something with your friends, but you guys are always talking to each other, texting, and you can be at other people's house and you're still talking to each other. So how is that? You guys are always talking to each other, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Why?
Because you have fun texting your friends. You're always having jokes. You're having a conversation. It's always fun to talk to your friends.
Okay. And that is, I can understand how much fun that is. The only thing, then you're not interacting with life because you're so busy interacting with your phone, even though you feel like your friends are on the other end of that phone. You're just so involved in it. Do you think that affects people's willingness to go out and take a walk or to be involved in athletics or be in other social activities because they're so involved with their phone and their friends on the other end?
Well, not really, because if you're in sports, you're with your friends too, and if you're going somewhere, you're usually with someone you want to be with. So, yeah, I don't think it's really that bad.
Not too bad. Okay. Well, and the other question that I'd like to ask is, do you think it opens the door for bullying or rude or hurtful messages or maybe inappropriate images that you might otherwise not have had access to or even have chosen to see, but somebody copies it from another resource then you get to see? So do you think that you guys are bullied more and see items that you probably didn't want to or shouldn't have seen?
Yeah, we're bullied way more if you're on your phones.
Okay. So what can parents do to help?
Usually they can take your phone and they can look through your messages, because that's always good for a parent to do. And usually if there's something rude, just go to your parents and tell them what's happening.
Okay. I think that's very wise. Thank you for joining us, Kylie.
You're welcome.
Technology can add a lot to our lives, as well as social media. I guess the most important things we probably learned through this episode is to be really cautious users, very responsible. Don't post anything that we don't want the whole world to be able to see at any time in our future. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Talk to your kids if you have them, who have technology and social media, and don't let it control your life. Thanks for joining us on Stories from the Southwest. We'll see you next time.